Hey guys, this is Retro Cactar, and welcome to my very first commentary playthrough of Final Fantasy IV, the DS version. Before we jump in and start playing through the game, I want to take a bit of time to talk a bit about a couple things, why I'm doing this commentary playthrough, why this game, and possibly why you should watch this one as opposed to some other walkthroughs that are available. I've wanted to do a commentary playthrough of the Final Fantasy games for a long time now. It's been something that I've been interested in ever since I first saw it online, but until this time I didn't really have the time, the money, or the resources to be able to put together a video. But I've got a new setup now. I'm playing this on a emulator, and I think it's going to work really well. So I'm really excited that I now have a setup that I can do a commentary walkthrough on. So why this game? When I first started thinking about doing this, I was trying to think, what Final Fantasy game do I want to start with? And I thought about starting with Final Fantasy 1 at the very beginning, but the thing is, that game, it just doesn't really lend itself well to a commentary playthrough. There's not a lot I can talk about, not really a lot of things that I can mention. So I decided not to do that, and I was thinking, what is a game that I can play that I'm going to enjoy playing through, that I'm not going to lose interest in, and at the same time a game that other people are going to enjoy watching. And Final Fantasy IV is kind of where I landed on that. It's still, to this day, even though it's kind of old, there's still a lot of players that hold it in high regard. They would say it's their favorite Final Fantasy or one of their favorite Final Fantasies. And I think it's something that I'm really going to enjoy. I decided to play the DS version. You can see on the screen I've got the top screen on the right, on the left, and the bottom screen on the right. I just feel that this is probably my favorite version of the game. I mean, obviously, part of that has to be the 3D modeling and the updated graphics, but also it's got a few twists, a few extras to it that I really enjoy, and it's something that I think I'm really going to enjoy doing. So why watch this playthrough as opposed to some of the others? Well, I've played through Final Fantasy IV several times throughout its many reincarnations on the SNES and on the PlayStation, the PSP version as well, and I think I've got a pretty good knowledge of the game. I know where most of the items are. Does that mean that I'm going to get every single item in the game? Probably not. But I am going to try to get as much as I can. As I play through the game, I'm going to focus mainly on the story, but I might deviate once in a while to get some items or do some exploring. That's kind of how I like to play the game. I like to do side quests as they become available. Now, there's not actually that many side quests in Final Fantasy IV, but you get the idea. It's just I like to do things as soon as I can. So, without further ado, I think that's everything that I want to say. Oh, and if you do like these videos, please leave a like, leave a comment. I'm going to have a link to my Patreon account, and if you could support this channel, that would be great. It will allow me to keep making these videos for you guys. So if you like it, please like, subscribe. Patreon, we don't need to see that video again. We just watched it. And let's get into a brand new game. Here we go.
Lord Captain, we're nearly to the Baron border. So we are. The trouble's him, too. Orders may be orders, but this goes too far. Lord Captain! We're the Red Wings, the pride of Baron! Must we now be thieves, sent to plunder from the weak?
Enough.
But Lord Captain, the Mysidians offered no resistance, and still we cut them down.
Listen to me. We did no more than what our kingdom's peace and prosperity required us to do. The Mysidians knew too much of the crystal and its secrets. His Majesty deemed it so. We are the Red Wings of Baron. It is not our place to question the orders of our king.
Lord Captain.
Lord Captain! Monsters at the fore!
Alright, so right away we are into our first battle here. It kind of throws it in. As you can see, Cecil has a different technique that's exclusive in the DS version, Darkness, and it says sacrifice HP to attack for double damage. So I'll show you what this looks like. I think it's really cool. This dark aura surrounds him and powers up his attacks. Yeah, you have fun, buddy. You're not going to last very long. Boom. Fear the darkness. I got still lots of HP, I'm not worried.
Everyone all right?
Aye. With all these monsters as of late. Disturbing, is it not? I wonder what it bodes. We've reached the castle, my lord.
Well then, prepare for landing, men.
Lord!
I love this music here, the Red Wings theme. Ah, the young lord returns triumphant. You did secure Mysidius Crystal, did you not? The crystal is ours, but the Mysidians, they did not even raise a hand in their own defense, Bagan. All's the better then, is it not? Only fools would dare oppose the almighty will of Baron. Come, we must not keep his majesty waiting. A moment, my lord. Your Majesty, I fear our good Lord Cecil's faith in you begins to waver. Does it now? Indeed. Your loyalty and worth are proven once again, Captain Bagan. But the crystal is all that matters. Bring him before me. As you wish. Lord Cecil, His Majesty bids you enter. The kingdom of Baron hails your return, Cecil. You have brought me the crystal, I trust. I have, Your Majesty. It is genuine, Your Majesty. So it is. See how it shines. That will be all, Cecil. You may leave us now. Your Majesty, have you some other matter to discuss? Our king has granted you your leave, and yet you would trouble him further? I know it is not my place to ask, Your Majesty, and I pray that you can forgive my indiscretion. But what is it you aim to do? Your ways are not as they once were. My men's heart grow heavy with misgiving. As does yours. Your Majesty, no, I would never doubt. Do you take me for a fool, Cecil? Do you think your treasonous whisperings escape my ears? After all I've done for you, Cecil, you wound me. This is most unfortunate, but I can place no trust in one who offers none in return. I hereby relieve you of command of the Red Wings. My liege! You will go now to the Valley of Mist instead. There's a task I would have you do. A phantom creature haunts the borders of that land, the Eidolon of Mist. You will slay it and deliver this ring to the village that lies beyond. They will know its meaning. Be gone at first light on the morrow. Your Majesty! I beg you, my liege, reconsider. You know Cecil would not betray you. Ah, Kain. I was not aware this matter concerned you, but as you seem so eager to protect your friend, let your spear accompany his blade on the road to Mist. Your Majesty! I've no more words. Take the ring and be gone, while my mood is yet fair. Carnelian Signet. My liege! Kain, forgive me. I did not mean to draw you into this. What's to forgive? We'll slay this Eidolon of his and all will be forgotten. You'll be commanding the Red Wings again before you know it. Kain. You must be tired from Mysidia, no? Leave the preparations to me and get yourself some rest. Okay, so finally we get control of Cecil here. Just want to check my settings here once I figure out the buttons for the button mapping for my emulator. Just gonna check settings here. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the battle mode on wait. I find it's just easier when I'm doing things like I'm recording, I'm trying to watch, my audio recording, my video recording. It just makes it a bit easier. Battle speed. This is something I want to talk about. Select a smaller number to increase speed of battles. If I were to turn it up to 6 like this, that actually makes the battles slower, not faster. And I find that it actually makes the game easier too. Enemies tend to take more time with their turns. So I like to set to about 3. 4 is the default. I like to keep it at about 3. And, I might adjust this a bit as time goes on. I remember that this game kind of has a pretty high difficulty curve as you get into the later parts of the game, but we'll see. We'll keep it there for now. I want run to be the default, and I think all the other settings are fine the way they are. This is something that's cool too. Whenever you bring up the menu, whatever character you have in the lead has a little thought bubble. Cecil saying, "My liege, what could all this possibly serve?" So it's kind of cool. It's just a little funny thing that I kind of like how they did that. Rumors swarm about His Highness like so many flies, but I shudder to think what might happen were he to catch wind of them. I, for one, believe in our king. He's a man who is not afraid to act on his beliefs. I cannot help but sense a changed air about His Majesty as of late. Rash actions are ill-advised, at least if you value your life. The Valley of Mist lies beyond our far northwestern border. I've not been there myself, but it is said to be shrouded in a fog that never lifts. If our esteemed commander and Lord Cecil of the Red Wings join as one, it is the enemies of Baron who need fear. What is it? This is all my doing. Forgive me. I told you there's nothing to forgive. What's wrong? It isn't like you to act like this. I did not train in the way of the dark sword so I could steal from innocence, Kain. I trained because His Majesty asked it of me. You mustn't blame yourself for the orders you were given. Our king has his reasons, I'm sure of it. I envy you, Kain. Yeah, and here we get treated to a little DS exclusive cutscene. I like it. Cecil, so you saw me. I saw the openings you left. How do you expect to lead the Dragoons if you cannot even guard your own flank? My father's blood is in me. I will lead the dragoons. Have no fear of that. You're certainly headstrong enough. No more holding back, Cecil. Fight to win this time. Don't overthink things, Cecil. You need to keep your wits about you. Or do you mean to send me off against the Eidolon alone? Of course not. We leave early on the morrow. Let's get some sleep. If you guys hear like scrabbling or scurrying in the background, my cat is going psycho behind me here, so, just try to ignore that best you can. I'm not sure if it'll show up in the recording, but you get the idea. Congratulations! Word has it that Mysidia was a success, and its crystal is now ours thanks to you. Success. Trying to pronounce the words as clearly as I can. We've been ordered to conduct magical research to aid His Majesty's war efforts. Sleep! Huh? You don't even feel sleepy? That's odd, I could swear I did it right. Not all monsters can be felled by such simple spells as fire, blizzard, and thunder. Ancient tomes speak of magic vastly more powerful, but all true knowledge of such things is long forgotten. I like talking to all the NPCs in a place. Especially with these older games, they usually have good information. I'm currently studying the fundamentals of white magic. A white mage should know the 3 C's: Cure, Cura, and Curaga. His Majesty seems almost to have regained a bit of his youth in recent days, but it's more than that. Something about him seems different. Rosa became a white mage to help you, you know. She worries for you. Try not to make her do so any more than she must. Okie dokie. So, let's get these treasures over here. The provisions within this chamber are yours to employ as you see fit. The switch upon that wall controls the mechanism that opens the door. Get them treasures. My button mapping is kind of weird here. There we go. Tent. Ether. 4 gil. Nice. So I was pressing the button that was supposed to open the treasure chest, but sometimes it's a little finicky and it doesn't always want to work right away. The vault below houses Baron's ancestral treasures. Entrance within is forbidden in the name of His Majesty the King. Yeah, so you can see on the right-hand side of the right screen, there are those 6 treasure chests down in the corner, but at this point, we are not allowed to take them. But all in good time. Another day, another sleepless night of work. I sure love my job, I do. You, be sure to tell the Fleet Master that if you see him. Haven't seen Fleet Master Sid, have you? He's been like a ghost, leaving all the airship repairs to us. Seems distant when I do catch a glimpse too, pensive-like. This tower is closed by His Majesty's orders. Yeah, so there's parts here of the castle that we are not allowed to explore at this time. And treasures we're not allowed to take. I do like the music here in Baron too. It's kind of like it reminds me of a military march, which is kind of fitting because Baron is kind of governed by militarism, and given the opening scenes of what we did, I find it fits really well. Cecil. Thank goodness, you're all right. The orders from Mysidia came so suddenly I'd worried. We're fine. Small wonder, considering we fought mages who did not fight back. Cecil, I'll visit you in your tower later. Of course. I will apologize in advance for my terrible voice acting. It's not something... I don't profess to be a voice actor, but sometimes when I'm talking for other characters in a scene that isn't voiced, I tend to subconsciously change my voice depending on the character. So if you notice that, I just apologize in advance for that. We've imprisoned the Mysidian mages who stood against us. It should be safe to speak to them, as long as you do so through the bars. You're that filthy Dark Knight. Do you truly think what you've done will go unpunished? What you do to us is of little consequence, but please, you must restore the crystal to Mysidia. You know nothing. That crystal is not some mere glittering stone. Yeah, so what is the secret of the crystals? We know that the King of Baron desperately wants it. You seem pretty interested in it, but what is the purpose? To find out the answer to these questions and more, please tune in to the next episode. Well, well, look who's home. There's a Cid in every Final Fantasy game. Here's Final Fantasy IV's Cid. Rose has been worried sick about you, you know. Make that girl cry and you'll have me to answer to, you hear? Speaking of girls, how are my babies? Didn't burn out any engines, did you? You and them goons of yours need to treat those ships with more respect. Hey, why the long face? Something the matter? Cid, What? And he's sending you to hunt the Eidolon instead? Well, what'll happen to the Red Wings without you? I tell you, something's gotten into His Majesty. He's ordered me to build a new ship, you know. A more maneuverable one, with more firepower. What's he thinking? I'm not building these things for him to wage war. There's talk amongst the townspeople, too. Everyone's worried about where Baron's headed. And now the King's sending you away from us. Missed, eh? Well, you take care of yourself. Suppose I don't need to worry about you, though, do I? I'd best be on my way, too. That daughter of mine is going to wring my neck if I spend another night here without checking in at home. So that's Cid. Cid usually has something to do with airships or, you know, building in the games. Ow, be careful, that's where the monster got me. Lord Captain. The Red Wings have fallen far. Never has victory tasted so bitter upon my tongue. We cannot erase the memories of what was done in Mysidia, but we can drown them. Yeah, so nobody's really feeling good about what they were forced to do, following orders to take the water crystal. You know, we saw Cecil trying to encourage his men on the ship, but, you know, even he feels kind of bad about what happened. Greetings and salutations, Sir Knight. My name is Namingway. I travel the world bestowing new names upon those dissatisfied with the ones they already possess. But as of late, I find fewer and fewer wishing to take advantage of my renaming services. What say you? Won't you try a new name on for size? Yes, you can enter a name here. I will put in my name when I am not Retro Cactuar. But you will see, once you enter a name, it doesn't really matter. Say what? You can't change your name? Well, this is certainly unprecedented. It's almost as though my existence here serves no purpose. A naming way who cannot change a man's name is no naming way at all. I believe it is time I embarked on a new journey to find my proper place in this world. Well then, until we meet again. Yeah, so Naming Way was a character that existed in the original SNES game, and in that game, that version, you could change your characters' names. You know, there was no voice acting or anything at that time. But here, Naming Way is part of a side quest, and we will meet him several times throughout the game. I kind of like how they did that, how they took an old character that, as Naming Way said, serves no purpose, and they found a way to incorporate him into this version. I've turned your bed, my lord. They told me you would be departing again on the morrow. Rest well tonight. Alright, let's go up. Rest for the night? Yes.
Your Majesty, what's become of you? Where is the noble knight, the man who took me in as an orphan and raised me as his own? The strong, just king I once knew. Is a crystal worth all this? Robbing a peaceful people of what's theirs by right. What need could be so great? King's orders or no, there's no forgiving what we've done.
Cecil? Won't you tell me what happened? First you're sent off to Mysidia, and now to hunt some beast again so soon? Did something happen in Mysidia?
No, it's nothing.
Then why won't you look at me?
In Mysidia, we stole a crystal from people who had done no wrong. I've worn this darkened armor for so long now. There's no mote of light left in me. Not even in my heart.
You're a good man, Cecil.
I'm a coward. A coward who cannot even defy orders he knows he ought not follow.
Cecil of the Red Wings is many things, but he is no coward. Not the Cecil who I love. The king is sending you to Mist to slay the Eidolon, isn't he? If anything were to happen to you, I couldn't...
King will be with me. I'll be fine. It's late. You should get some rest.
Be careful.
Thank you, Rosa. But I know what I've become.
Shall we then, Cecil?
I'll be counting on you, my friend.
Then you've nothing to fear.
And so the Dark Knight Cecil, stripped of his command of the Red Wings, set out for the distant Valley of Mist. Together with Kane, commander of the Dragoons, he would pursue a faceless quarry and a chance for redemption. The advent of the airship had marked the realization of mankind's most ancient dream, but man is a creature seldom sated, and he was quick to dream anew. With the unparalleled might of the Red Wings, Baron's military soon reigned supreme. Why then does his king now seek the crystals? And why have fearsome monsters suddenly begun to overrun the once calm land? If the crystals know, they share no answers, only their pure and silent light. Sorry for that little hiccup. I had kept my hands off the keyboard and it kind of, my laptop started to go to sleep. So I will try to get rid of that in recording, but in editing, but if that does not work, then you know what that was. So here we are on the overworld. It's important to note, you cannot re-enter the castle at this point. It will not let you. Many pardons, but we're not to admit you until you've delivered that ring to the village of Mist, His Majesty's orders. So we are barred from the castle, but not the town. Oh, right into a battle. There we go. Come on. Yeah, these guys are not going to offer me any resistance. Typical for a Final Fantasy game, at the start, everything is pretty much one-hit KOs. Alright, after that little interlude, let's go into the town. You're Lord Cecil of the Red Wings, or my eyes betray me. You seek the Valley of Mist. It lies beyond a cave in the northwestern mountains. Cool. That's the item shop. I don't really have a lot of money yet. And also, before I go to the item shop, I want to try to find a few items around town. How come you're dressed like that? Are you a bad person? Yeah, Cecil looks kind of threatening, even though he's, technically one of the good guys. I do not need to rest. Come on, button mapping. Hold on. There we go. Lord Cecil, I've done no ill, I swear it. My taxes are all paid. Well, if it isn't our own Dark Knight. Money? Surely you jest. Your mere presence here is payment enough. Yeah, so a lot of the townspeople are kind of nervous around Cecil. They don't want to, step on any toes or make any poor moves or anything like that. Nothing good can come of our meddling in the affairs of Mist. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that point. This building houses the entrance to the Devil's Road, the Downward path that leads to Mysidia. In quieter days, it was a thriving means of trade, but now the wizards have sealed the exit on their end, effectively closing the route. There's also a military classroom down in the cellar, though I'm sure you've no need to be taught about combat. Yeah, you can go down here if you're unsure about some of the things and talk to these guys. I'm pretty confident, played this game several times. I kind of know my way around Final Fantasy IV. Not too worried. Grim are these days that our king trains his men in the way of the dark sword. Sorry, just following orders. Father was out working all last night again. When will he realize he's not young enough for this anymore? You'll tell him for me, won't you, Cecil? Tell him he needs to settle down. The townspeople have been saying horrible things about His Majesty and the others at the castle. It's all Father's been able to do to still their tongues. We know there's still plenty of good men there, like you. She's finished. This is new engine too. Even in his dreams, he's working hard. That's Sid for you. Rosa's house. His Majesty's recent behavior troubles me. Even you and your men have been doing some terrible things, as I hear it, orders though they may be. All I ask is you keep Rosa out of harm's way. Don't involve her in these dangerous games you men must play. Uh-oh, it's a dark night. But you know, I don't think you look so mean. The door is locked, which is fine. That's the armory, armor weapons shop. We don't need that right now. But, my lord, I've spoken no ill of His Majesty, I swear it. Why don't I show you a little something, and we can just forget about everything, all right? Yeah, all the towns in Final Fantasy IV have a dancer, and you can watch a little dance. I'm not really sure, like, what the point of that is. I might have to look into that. Like, is there actually something, you know, worthwhile of watching the dance, or is it just kind of more of an entertainment thing? Not really sure. I say I know the game pretty well, but you know, I think it's a very dangerous claim for anyone to say that they know everything about any one Final Fantasy. There's just so much stuff packed into these games. Door on the west side, you say? Ah, yes. The old waterway flows to the castle, but it's kept under lock and key now, child. There's just, like I was saying, there's just so much stuff packed into the Final Fantasy games that I would never claim to say that I know every single thing about any of them. I know a lot over the years, and there are people that have like gone into these games, like the actual coding. Oh, I got something there. Not quite sure what it was. Yeah, but there are people that have like gone into these games and actually like tried to hack them and understand the coding. I'm not one of those people. I hear about the tricks, or I learn about the tricks. Find death. Yeah, so you can switch your character with the button, and then you know they get different thoughts depending on. Okay, obviously I've got some different save files here because I have played this game before, but we're going to save over this one. This is going to be our file for the commentary playthrough. So, I mean, you can wander around here, fight some enemies. Like I said, everything is pretty easy at this point. One turn kill. I'm not going to really focus on like leveling up. I'm just going to play through the game. There we go. I'm hoping at one point, I can just kind of play through the game from start to finish without having to worry about doing any grinding or leveling up. I do remember the last time I played this, the DS version, I remember there was the difficulty curve. At one point, I hit a wall, and there was this one boss, which just no matter try what I might, I was not able to beat him. Now, I know more now. I understand the game better, the mechanics, the enemies. These are not the same bosses, at least. The enemies are pretty much the same, but the bosses in the DS remake, they have some new moves, some new tricks. So the strategies that you might, even if you've played this before, the strategies that you used when you were playing the SNES version might not quite work anymore. And you'll if you're familiar with older versions of this game, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, anyway, I'm hoping I can just play through the game from start to finish and not have to worry about grinding. You know, if I do, obviously I'll mention that. I'll say, you know, I took a bit of time off to grind. Probably I'll keep that out of the recording, and I'll do it off screen, and then I'll kind of show before and after, like this was my party before, this is my party after the grinding, something like that. But anyway, this is the cave that we need to go to, so we are going to save again. And again, button mapping, go inside. Oh, greetings and salutations again. Your name was Cecil, was it not? After we last spoke, I set about mapping out a new course for my life, one that would allow me to help people. But having undertaken the task of mapping, the name of Naming Way now seems rather inappropriate. Naming Way became Mapping Way, the cartographer. All right, let me give you this. It's an enchanted map that will draw itself as you traverse the floors of caves and dungeons. And that's not all. For each map you complete, you'll receive a fantastic reward. I hope you find it useful. Well then, until we meet again. Yeah, so now we have this map you can see as you move. It draws itself, which is very useful, I would say. Don't need to worry about jump for these guys. Pretty simple. Imps. And a standard enemy for the first Final Fantasy is an Imp or Goblin, actually. Goblin. Pretty standard first enemy. Yeah, but the enchanted map is nice because, as I said, it kind of draws itself as you go around the dungeon, and if you complete it, you can see in the bottom right hand corner on the map there's a percentage, and if you get 100% you get a prize. In order to draw the map completely, you kind of want to push against walls and run around treasure chests. You kind of want to map out everything if you can. Leave this place. Who's there? Mysterious voice from the void calls out. Alright. That looks like the way out. But we are not done beating up things. Boom. Critical hit. There we go. That's what I like to see. Yeah. The one annoying thing, I guess you could say, about this stage of the game is we have no attacks that can hit all enemies, so, you know, you're fighting groups of 4 or 6, and, I mean, they're all one-hit kills, but you still have to take them out one at a time. Classic Final Fantasy victory music. Yeah, there's a little bit here I need to map. Just make sure that that gets filled out. Right now, mapping is pretty simple. You just kind of go through, it's going to fill itself out. As you get to some of the other dungeons, it starts to get a little more complex. Return whence you came. That voice, could it be the Eidolon? Seems a safe bet to me. Alright, just gonna quickly check. Again, if I was playing blind, I wouldn't know this, but there's a boss coming up, and I want to make sure I am prepared. You know, kind of got beaten up a bit, so... I never did go to the item shop, actually, but I think we've managed. We'll manage. Men of Baron. You know who we are? Leave at once, and no harm will befall you. I will abide no further trespass. Show yourself! You mean to ignore my warning? We must deliver this ring to the village of Mist Beyond. So be it. The mist is gathering. Oh yeah, here we go, Mist Dragon. Mist Dragon. Alright. Time to bust out the moves. Fear the darkness. It does. Darkness is actually the Mist Dragon's weakness. Let's see here. Wham! That was a critical too. It didn't say weakness, but it is weak. I think if you do a critical hit, it kind of like overwrites the... Yeah, see, it says weakness there. Hit one, I think. I'll just attack. Poke. I want to be careful here. Yeah, there we go. The dragon dissolved in the mist. Do not attack. Nope. I turned on auto bow. This game has an auto battle feature that is very useful when you're just kind of, if you have to grind or you want to grind, it's very useful for that. I'm going to activate darkness again because darkness wears off after a point in time. Get up there, Kain. Yeah, as you can see, Kain's ability is jump, so he jumps up in the air and until his next turn, and then kind of plummets down on top of the enemy, doing damage. And if he has a spear equipped, which he always should, it does double damage. There we go. This thing is doing well. Ow. Boom. There we go. Yeah, level up. The big Dragoon man levels up. There we go. Says, strange, I felt no malice in that dragon, no evil. And Kain thinks, there was a little sport in that, but it is done. Now to deliver the ring. Now I'll keep Cecil in the lead here. And let's complete that map. Get 5 potions. Okay, so, standard reward. I'm going to actually use 2 of them. I've got a tent. I suppose I could use a tent, but I don't really think I need to. Kind of want to save them for, when I really actually need them. Alright. Let's save and deliver that ring. There we go.
Hooray!
This is what we were sent to do?
He wished this village torched.
But why?
Why?
can't die just because your dragon did.
I've heard of their lot. Men who can conjure Eidolons. Summoners.
Then the dragon we slew was her mother's?
You're the ones who killed her dragon?
Forgive us. We'd no idea this would happen to your mother.
His Majesty sent us to eliminate every last one of these people.
No.
Foul work, to be sure. We'll need to kill the girl as well.
Kain!
It's her or us, Cecil.
She's a child!
You'd betray your king?
Betray him? Any man who'd wish for this is no king of mine.
I thought you might say that.
Then
I owe His Majesty much, but not so much I'd soil the Dragoon's name in his.
you're with me.
Baron's army is the mightiest in the world. Our flight means nothing if we remain alone. We must treat with other nations, share what we've seen. And Rosa, she must share our flight.
And she will. Thank you.
I'm not doing this for you.
Huh?
Quickly, we mustn't linger here. What of the girl?
We take her with us. Come, it's not safe here. Take my hand.
Go!
We've no time. Use force if you must.
Stay away!
Wait!
Leave me alone! I hate you!
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, even though I knew it was happening, the whole "I hate you" thing is always a big shock. Get away from me! Gaia's Wrath. Oh boy. She's alive. Thank goodness. Kain? Kain! Well, I cannot stay here. I need to take this girl someplace safe. Forgive me, Kain. Well, that was quite the sequence. So, we delivered the ring to the Village Mist, and it was really just a ploy by the king to wipe out the Village of Mist and the summoners that lived there. Yeah, so we found this girl. Cecil thinks an orphan, and if not by my hand, then by my deeds. So I think this is a good point to leave here. We've been going for almost an hour. Most of the episodes I'm going to try to keep within half an hour to 45 minutes, but since this was the first episode and there's a lot of narrative, a lot of kind of setting, story building, I decided to go an hour on this one, but I think we're going to stop here. Really excited, really enjoying playing through this game. Again, if you are enjoying the content, you like what you're seeing, then please leave a like and comments on the video. Again, I'll have a link to my Patreon account, so it would be great if you guys could support the channel by supporting me on Patreon, and that way I can keep making content like this and delivering it to you guys. Really excited to keep going with this. I hope to have the second video done soon, and I will see you guys then.